Hello, friends, and welcome back. Today we will be working in Create This Book 1 again. The prompt I chose for this episode is create a page for stickers. Place stickers all over this page. For this page, I immediately knew what to do because at one point in time I designed my own stickers, but let's start from the beginning. This is my deluxe world travel journal by Lucy Draws UK. And it is basically a scrapbook with checklists for all the countries and maps that you can color in. And then there is one double page for each country or territory in the world. And as soon as you have been there, you can fill this double page with photos, tickets, stickers, whatever. I wanted to make the pages really colorful and busy and add as much stuff as possible. So besides the photos, I also took pictures or scans of all the souvenirs that I got. Here, for example, on the Romania page, we have lots of key charms, magnets, and all kinds of knickknacks. Also, this super cute devil teddy bear key charm. I love that in Romania everything was like Dracula and vampire inspired. And so, of course, I had to get this vampire in the coffin. It was just way too cool to not buy it. And it also has a little picture here in the book. This is another magnet that I love. It's from Transfagarajan, the scenic route through the Carpathian Mountains. And we saw this exact scene with a mama bear and two cubs. Then I also have some souvenir coins and a pressed coin. I also like to add local currency. So here we have two lei bills. What is interesting, you cannot scan them with the printer. The printer will recognize them as official money and just cancel the scanning process. So I had to photograph them with my phone and then just print out those photographs, and this luckily did work. So why did I show you all of this? Before I decided to put in real photographs and scans of tickets and photos of souvenirs and so on, I had the idea to design my own landmark stickers. I wanted to use them on the pages instead of the photographs, but I realized it was way too much work and I could never finish that. So instead, I used them to decorate the inside cover. As you can see, there is still some space left, so I need to design 7 more stickers to fill the page, and that's what we're gonna do today. And then I'm gonna use these stickers for the Create This Book page. If you like, you can pause the video here and try to guess which landmark each of those stickers represents. Here are the solutions: Brandenburg Gate in Berlin, Westminster Abbey in London, Louvre Museum in Paris, Rosenborg Palace in Copenhagen, St. Basil's Cathedral in Moscow, Cabo da Roca in Portugal, the westernmost point of continental Europe, El Oso y el Madroño in Madrid, the Elb Philharmonie in Hamburg, St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican, the Trevi Fountain in Rome, the Town Hall in Frankfurt am Main, Gamla stan in Stockholm, the Atomium in Brussels, Westminster Palace in London, Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, St. Stephen's Cathedral in Vienna, Hofburg Palace in Vienna, the Little Mermaid in Copenhagen, Stonehenge in England, the Spanish Steps in Rome, the Pantheon on the Acropolis of Athens, the Church of Our Saviour in Copenhagen, Prague Old Town, Neuschwanstein Castle in Germany, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, the Catacombs of Paris, Sagrada Familia in Barcelona, the Tower of London, Alexander Square in Berlin, Dracula Castle in Romania, St. Stephen's Basilica in Budapest, Florence Cathedral, the Reichstag in Berlin, Nyhavn in Copenhagen, the Victory Column in Berlin, the Eiffel Tower in Paris, Checkpoint Charlie in Berlin, the Colosseum in Rome, Pina Palace in Sintra, Portugal, Amalienborg Palace in Copenhagen, the Cathedral of Our Lady in Munich, Cologne Cathedral, the Greek Parliament in Athens, Milan Cathedral, the Arc of Triumph in Paris, the Marble Church in Copenhagen, Loch Ness with Urquhart Castle and Nessie, of course, the Gherkin in London, Drottningholm Palace in Sweden, the Pantheon in Rome, Buckingham Palace in London, Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church in Berlin, Lisbon Cathedral, the Crane in Gdansk, Poland, the Town Hall of Munich, Sacré-Cœur Basilica in Paris, Castel Sant'Angelo in Rome, the Tower Bridge in London, Torre de Belém in Lisbon, Sanssouci Palace in Potsdam, Germany, the Monument of the Battle of Nations in Leipzig, Germany, Bratislava Castle in Slovakia, and Hallgrímskirkja Church in Reykjavik. The next landmark sticker I'm gonna design is for Helsinki Cathedral, a landmark that I visited just recently and that is super beautiful and definitely needs to be in the book. I sped up the process here by 32 times, so you can imagine how incredibly long it takes to design one single sticker. And that's why I decided to not make a sticker for every single landmark I wanted to have in the book, because it would have taken forever. Alright, Helsinki Cathedral is done. Next, I want to do the Blue Mosque in Istanbul. I know that Hagia Sophia is more famous. It is the mosque directly opposite of the Blue Mosque, but I personally think the Blue Mosque looks cooler, at least from the outside, than Hagia Sophia, so yeah, that's why I'm doing this one. I'm having a hard time coloring in the sky because I used this exact alcohol marker for so many stickers already that it is super dry by now. So yeah, good that we only have 5 more stickers left. And here is the finished sticker of the Blue Mosque in Istanbul. Next, I'm gonna do a really cool site in Iceland, which is the puffin bird. I was lucky enough to spot several of them in Iceland, but only because I lost my sunglasses and returned to their spot in the evening where we hadn't seen any of them during the day. But when I returned to look for my sunglasses, suddenly the entire hill was filled with puffins. That was so cool. Alright, already starting with the next one. This was one of the more tedious ones. It is the Alexander Nevsky Cathedral in Tallinn, Estonia, also a site that I have recently visited. And yeah, those stickers are the hardest ones because you have to cramp so many details in such a tiny scale, but I really love how it turned out. I just love Orthodox churches in general. I think they look so cool, the building itself as well as the interior. So why not do yet another Orthodox church? And this is the Church of Saint Sava in Belgrade, Serbia. Yet another super detailed one that just took forever to finish. At least most of the church was white, so the coloring went pretty fast. The next one is a place that I haven't visited yet, but it's definitely on my bucket list. It's Bruggen in Norway, where there are all those colorful wooden houses on the shore. Yeah, Norway is actually one of the few European countries that I have never been to. I don't know why I didn't make it up there yet, but yeah, it's definitely on my list. Alright, moving on to the final sticker. Sorry, I didn't set the focus correctly here, but I think you can still see what I'm doing. I'm creating Keukenhof in the Netherlands, where there are those huge fields of tulips and lots of windmills. Just very typical for the Netherlands. Now we can finally complete this page in my travel journal, and I love it so much. I also scanned in all the stickers, printed them on sticker paper in a smaller scale, and added some transparent sheet to them. And now we need to cut them all out. Yeah, one eternity later, the stickers were ready. And I even added two more that I had once designed and scanned in, so they were still on my computer. This is Nymphenburg Castle in Munich and the Romanian Parliament in Bucharest. Back then I didn't like them and discarded them, but now I think they're not that bad. Okay, now let's prepare the page in Create This Book. I didn't want to do anything crazy for the background because the stickers are already so colorful and busy. So I just took some yellow acrylic markers and outlined this shape where the prompt was written in. Once that was done, it was time for the most exciting part of creating this page, which of course was gluing in all the stickers that we have just printed and cut out. I really love if I can combine several projects, so I'm really happy that I could integrate these stickers into my Create This Book. And I think the page turned out really nice. I just love how colorful and busy it is. And that was it already for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time. Bye!